once and for all. Let's do this. And we are going to be starting with, well, not a fellow countryman because I am not Dutch, but I do live in Amsterdam. And he is a veteran of the creative industry. He works as a partner at KesselsKramer, and we're going to learn about how to be naughty. We're going to learn about disobedience, and we are going to learn about what mosh pits from punk rock era can teach the creative industry, and a whole wealth of other things. Please welcome to the stage. We're going to welcome to the stage Gijs Van Den Berg, everybody.
Thank you, Carrie. Nice words. Thank you. And thank you, Laura, for inviting me over. It's such a pleasure to be here. Are you ready for a creative riot? Can we start the presentation? Yes, here we are. All right. My name is Gijs Van Den Berg. It's a very difficult name, I realize. So you can call me Heinz, Gijs, Gijs, Gijs. I listen to everything. If you say Gijs, then I will give you a free drink. So there you go. Yes, there you go. First one. Is it possible to get the speaker's notes on this screen? I can do without, but just to have it. So good morning, everybody. I'm going to wake you up this morning. I'm, like Gary said, partner at KesselsKramer. My official title is Creative Director, but as we saw with Laura already, on the scale from 1 to 8, I'm probably still at 1 because I feel like a junior creative. And I think that's the best position to be in. I work in this office in Amsterdam, which now looks like this. We changed it a little bit. And we did some redecoration. It's in an old church. If you're ever in Amsterdam, drop by. I'd love to show you around. It also looks like this. It's a different angle. And since 2008, we also have an office in London. And this is our new office in Shoreditch, which has a horse in the window called Wendy. It loves to meet you as well. Let's talk about being a creative in 2024. Because times have changed a little bit, and I don't want to feel too much like an old fart, but remember the days that you could do everything as a creative. You could come late at work, you could come up with the craziest ideas, you could do anything as long as you would come up with a good idea. It would justify your behavior and everything. And today, these days, things have changed a little bit since we have to deal with deadlines. We have to deal with 25 presentations, revisions, 120 assets of each thing that you come up with. You have to make everything responsive. It has to be socially proof. It's a lot, and that comes with a lot of process that's being injected into the creative industry. And in a sense, it's quite good to have a little bit of process, but on the other hand, too much kind of kills a little bit the creativity. So I'm going to talk to you about some ways on how to avoid this and how to deal with it in a different way. Here we go. First thing. Long meetings kill creativity. This is only 20 minutes I'm going to talk, and I like it because it's short, keep it snappy, not too long. You will remember only 7% of it. I think also in a meeting, like, why do we have all these long meetings? It's not needed, especially as a creative. You just want to come up with ideas. Being in a long meeting, you already know in 5 minutes, okay, I know enough, I know the brief, I know what to do. It's only costing a lot of money, and the money you would rather spend on just coming up with nice ideas, right? Agree? So I don't think anybody here likes to be in long meetings, or am I wrong? No? Okay, good. We changed our meeting rooms accordingly, so we added picnic tables, and they are nice for 20 minutes to sit on, but after that you get like a little bit bruised, and then you have to leave, which is perfect. And in our London office, we kind of changed the decoration of the meeting rooms a little bit, so we asked Mr. Bingo to illustrate some nice illustrations for us about meetings. And this is basically how it feels to be in meetings sometimes. It's true. This is a fact. Yeah. A bit too rough maybe, but... And to be honest, I think you get the point. But I think we all kind of recognize this, right? It's very awkward to be in like this huge screen and then 4 people watching at it. It's very weird. And then we also did a little bit of adjustment of the wayfinding. So we put this into our office. And for those of you that are kind of willing to embrace this fact that we should have less meetings, I brought some posters for you. So after the talk, you can come pick them up. And I think it's very important that you can have them for free, of course, but you have to hang them in your office and send me a picture. That would be nice. Just then, or like this, maybe like this, like this. Up to you. And if that is not enough, there's also other ways to sabotage the meetings. That's just to kind of serve the worst coffee you can imagine. There you go. Is there something with the sound, right? Going twice, but that's good. Let's skip it. Once is enough. So yeah, if you drop by our office, don't ask for coffee. Just some advice. I made the video actually on the first day that I started at KesselsKramer in 2009, and it's still relevant. Can you imagine? It's just, we don't learn. I think one of the other lessons that I learned also during the process of working in the creative industry is that we tend to add a lot of process to the creativity. And I think that's, like I said already, it's vital with all these kind of more complicated things we have to deal with, and the more kind of media landscape that is much more bigger, and you have to deal with so many different assets, as we call them. But I think it kind of kills a little bit the surprise in creativity. So I also like to say it's good to have like a little bit of chaos to add to the order. And to me, like a creative process is always chaos. And it's not really like this. And I try to look for like a diagram on what creativity is about. And I think we try really hard to understand the creative process. And especially people that are not creative really would love to know what it is to be creative, how it works, what stages we go through. Also to be financially profitable. And that makes sense. It's good. We have to be predictable. Yet, as creatives, we don't want to be predictable, and that's a big contradiction. And then I saw this diagram, which I think there's nothing wrong with this. I tried to kind of draw my own version. It's on my T-shirt. I got some help from designer Onno Blaze, who helped me leak markers. I thought this was a bit better diagram. And then I thought, no, we shouldn't do this visually, because it doesn't make you feel anything. And then I thought, I have to do something uncomfortable. I have to make an idiot out of myself here. So what I did, I wrote a song for you. And this is going to be very awkward for me because I've never done this before. And maybe it will be the last time. And maybe if it's a big success, I can do it live next time. So it's up to you whether I will do this again. So I wrote a song and I spent last week in the studio recording it. It's very short and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. So yeah, 45 seconds. Thank you. There was a bit of echo, but I think you get the point. Yeah, I lost my voice for 2 days, but I was glad my 6-year-old son was doing the backing vocals, so I was very happy with that. Let's continue. Hey, here we go. You can cut the music. Okay, thanks. Because no one ever died from missing a deadline, as far as I know. At least not in our industry. I think maybe for doctors this is not a good advice. But I think if you look for the creative industry, we all worry so much about that deadline. But who cares about the deadline? It's just a person with a pencil and an agenda, just kind of putting in a date and saying, okay, that needs to be done then. I mean, who cares? Eventually, if the idea is brilliant, there's always room and flexibility to stretch the deadline. And I think you should always aim for the best work and not for the best timeline. So keep that in mind. Yeah, this is something I learned along the time, also with working with a team of really rebellious creatives around me, that sometimes a brief can be great, but sometimes it's also better to just listen to your gut and then read the brief afterwards. Briefs are very helpful and they help you along the way, but sometimes it's also good to completely do the opposite. So we worked on this project for a school called Koning Willem I College, and they asked us to do like an identity, so we did that. And then they also asked us like, hey, we need to have a poster for the grounds at school, and we want people not to throw away their trash anymore. And then the brief went to the team, and the team started thinking about it, and they said, like, who wants to make a poster on a schoolyard anyway? So they thought, actually, we can also do something more clever and apply some reverse psychology, and they came up with this, which is actually quite nice, I think, which is basically an installation of that makes it very difficult for you to throw away the trash. So it's kind of reverse psychology. While making it easier, they made it harder, and it works. Look, it's like completely clean. And it says, throw away your trash, how hard can it be? And it became a little bit of a challenge on the school also to deal with these. And I think that's also a clever way of just saying, okay, you ask for a poster, but come on, yeah, there's better ways to solve this problem. A healthy dose of humor is very important in our industry. I mean, we make long days, we work a lot, we put a lot of heart and soul into our work. But so it's also very important to remember to have some fun. And this fun can sometimes also be a bit rebellious. And we sometimes have these challenges that we say with the team, like, okay, for the next weeks, you have to implement X object into the work that you come up with. And for a while, we had this with dogs. So we said, okay, everything you come up with has to have a dog in it. And so then the radio station, Radio 1, approached us, and they wanted to have a TV commercial. And then, of course, it was about the World Cup. And the first thing we thought about was, of course, a dog. So we made this. Not everybody was happy with this spot. So we got some complaints from the radio station. They got people sending letters, they were angry, and there was a dog killed on TV, and it's not possible. And so then we said, no, but it was not real, of course, it's video. And they said, yeah, you have to make like a correction of the video and then air it, and it has to show that the dog is still alive. So yeah, so we took the opportunity to also make another film. We never heard from them again. I think this is also a good lesson, never finish early. So when you have a time set for a briefing to work on, sometimes it's like 3 months, and you will always use the full 3 months. If it's 3 hours, you will fix it in 3 hours. That's basically how it works as a creative. But also sometimes it's also good to kind of deliberately slow down. And we have one client that really understands that and really likes that idea. So they asked us to come up with like pack shots for their new wine. It's a Portuguese brand. Yes. And so we kind of respected that, so we wanted to make pack shots, but we thought we'd do it in the slowest way possible.
Eu acho que o Subi é um vinho claramente informal e descomplicado, e esta ideia vai atrás disso mesmo. E por isso ter visto uma garrafa a voar e diferentes perspectivas da quinta é também ao mesmo tempo uma ideia de certa forma disruptiva e diferente com o que é a norma e o habitual numa comunicação de vinho.
No, we never flew a wine bottle before. The drones aren't made for wine bottles, carrying big stuff like that. But they explained us what was the idea. So we had to customize a drone. You could do the modern Photoshop stuff, but doing it like the old-fashioned way, bringing the bottle in the air. We thought of this. That's a fantastic idea.
Do you think it's a bit crazy idea?
Yes, it's probably pretty crazy. It was really about playing with people's perception of it and the unique view that the grapes have of the landscape, kind of looking down on everything. And I guess that's what led us to the idea of photographing the landscape from above. I'm hoping they'll recognise Douro, but they might have to spend a little bit longer looking at it to realise that the bottle's actually
I think you get the idea. Okay, let's move on. So, bottle on a drone, flying it over the landscape, and we take the photos just from the drone down. I mean, this is pretty inefficient. We could have done this in Photoshop, or maybe with AI, would have been nice. But it's just not that much fun. And also the wine here is called Spurau, and we kind of positioned them also as a slow product. So slow forward was kind of the positioning we made for them. And we also wanted to prove that in each point of communication that we made. And also, we also didn't forget to have some fun. Next slide. Next slide. Come on. Oh. Can I go back? Yeah, here it is. Oh. Yes, here we go. We had a lot of fun. Keep it real. So advertising, and I think everybody here knows that, is not always honest. Sorry if this is a shocker for you, but no, and that's also I think a little bit of the problem with the industry is that for many years we've been making work that is just not honest, and the audience understands it, they get it, you know, they don't like advertising. I mean, if I talk to my friends who are not working in the industry and I talk about advertising, they're like, yeah, I hate it, I skip it, I don't want to see it, I don't like it. And that's because they have the feeling that people lie to them all the time, you know, like this product is the best, this product is the best. Yeah, of course, two cannot be the best, so what do I do? And what we like to do is to really kind of look for things that are real, you know, that people can relate to and they also understand that it's reality. And this project I'm going to show you is for a hotel that we've been working on for many years in Amsterdam, which is called the Hans Brinker Budget Hotel. I'm not sure if anybody here ever stayed there. If you would probably not be alive anymore, because it's the worst hotel in the world. It's terrible. It's like this backpacker place. It's very loud. It's I don't think people actually sleep there. It's more like a party place. We've been making campaigns for them like for 25 years. And wanted to do something new every time. So every year we went to the hotel and got the inspiration actually from the location. So we went to the hotel again a while ago, and now it's not skipping slides. And then it's also sometimes the truth is kind of already there. So the team went to the hotel to look for insights for a new campaign. And they discovered by looking at the outside of the hotel that it actually uses only 20% of the energy that a normal hotel uses because the lights are broken. And this is, of course, very eco-friendly, but not intentionally. So we called it accidentally eco-friendly and made a campaign out of it. And this was in the time that all the hotels asked you to kind of reuse the soap, do not you reuse the towels, don't use too much toilet paper. And then we just said, like, basically, it's already there, you know? There's already an eco-elevator and eco-heating. Eco-shower. And the eco-towel. Don't go there. One other things, like usually, like with the creative process, it's also, we kind of tend to think a long time. If we have a long time to think about an idea, we think about it for very long, and we go this whole tour through our mind of what are the possible scenarios that we can go through. And then, but many times, basically, the first thing that you come up with is usually the best thing. And sometimes it's also very obvious, but it's not bad, because there's also always a lot of beating around the bush, like I said, in advertising, and it's also good to kind of sometimes just make it very plain and very clear. And we had a film festival approach us in the Netherlands, which is called the Netherlands Film Festival, and they hand out the awards for the best films every year, and they don't have the bears, they don't have the lions, but they have the golden calf, you know, the baby cow, which is not so glamorous. But it's their prize, and we thought also, like, hey, why do we have to come up with so many kind of difficult ideas when we can just kind of give people a real golden calf? It's a simple idea. So we waited in a farm. We were on the phone with a farmer, and he called us when the baby cows were born. We went there, and we gave them to the actors to take a photo, and then we turned them golden afterwards. It's very obvious, but it's also iconic. Doesn't have to be difficult. We're almost through the presentation. I think this is a very personal thing that Laura already mentioned it, is that this industry, it's not about companies, it's all about individuals. We are all kind of our own individual. We come up with our own ideas, and we bring ourselves to work every day. And but do we actually put things that we think are important in our work? I think there's room for that, and there should be room for that. And it can be fun as well. And sometimes the perfect brief is not there, but you can also create your own perfect brief for a friend, or for, in this case, an ex-colleague who started a yoga school. And I thought it would be nice to connect it also to the bigger world problems that we have, and say that yoga is very nice, but maybe it's even the nicest for the people that need it most. And so we made this campaign where we showed world leaders that are not so flexible the opportunity that they could get when they do yoga. This is Geert Wilders. By now everybody knows it. I am ashamed a little bit that he is from the Netherlands. I apologize. So yeah, many people need a little bit more flexible brain. And this campaign, it was just, funny enough, a poster that we put on the street and a JPEG file on the internet. We didn't buy any media, but the week after, the newspaper called us because they liked the idea, and they put it in the newspaper. So we didn't have to spend media. The media kind of approached us, which is a nice turnaround. And then eventually it got picked up, and now it's part also of the collection of Sophia Reina, the propaganda collection. So that's super nice. It's just like a small personal project, and a yoga school with 5 students. You know, this is not a massive company, but it's very nice that it's still possible. And when she had this success, we said, okay, like Lotte, which is the name of the ex-colleague, it's her yoga school. Lotte, you're becoming famous. You should write a book about it. And then we gave her this presentation, and she said, like, yeah, okay, it's very nice. And we say, yeah, it should be about that yoga is very simple and applicable to everything. It's easy, and everybody can understand it. And she says, yeah, I love it, but there's one problem. I cannot write. I'm not a writer. And we said, yeah, don't worry. We wrote the book already for you. So it was just a very simple book. And we also had a very short book presentation. Yeah, this is the last point that I want to talk about. And this is something that's very important to me, but also to everybody that works at our agency, is that we discuss every project that comes in. Any client that shares a brief with us, we discuss it. We discuss it with our the people that we work with, the co-workers. We discuss it with our partners at home. We discuss it even with our children sometimes, with our friends. We just think that you have a responsibility in what you do. Creativity is kind of a strong force, and we have a special talent as creatives. But we have to be mindful that we use it for the right things. And that is up to you. You know, everybody can make a decision every day. Laura decided to stop working in advertising, and I think that's a very brave decision. And I think in the end, it's also good that the good work deserves a stage. Like we see also with the ADCE and with the One Club, good work gets recognized, and that gets the stage that it deserves. But also it would be good to give maybe sometimes a monument to people that decide to not do something, you know? It's good to do something, but it's also sometimes good to not do something. We have the skills to do good. Let's use it a little bit more often. Or as we said to our recent client for a project against shadow banning in journalism, we say, stay loud. That's our talent, and that's what we should do. And that's how I'm going to end the presentation. Thank you. On behalf of all the people of KesselsKramer, not a company, but a collective of individual creative people working together in Amsterdam and London. I hope it was a little bit inspiring, and enjoy the rest of your talks and the show.